Cardinals are looking like the best team in football after years and years of disappointment. So how did they get here?
Hicks on hinges. They're trying to keep him corralled, but this is why he's so dangerous. Look how he stops here, sets his feet, boom!
After the whole Rosen situation back in 2018, the Cardinals decided to start off fresh, and so they decided to fire head coach Steve Wilks following a rough 3-13 season. Fun fact, that year they won as many games during the preseason as they did their entire 16-game regular season, and I'm guessing that's why the team decided to change things up. Instead of going for a big-name option for the new head coach, the Cardinals decided to try something new with former Texas Tech coach Cliff Kingsbury. Not only was he just an average head coach in college, but in fact he had a losing record and went 16-21 in his last 3 years with the team. As you could probably guess, the hire had many scratching their head and seemed to be a recipe for failure as they drafted their second straight quarterback with their first round pick. Out of Oklahoma, Kyler Murray was coming off of a Heisman win in 2018, and so it only made sense that he would go first overall, even though he was undersized. Just like his head coach, many people doubted Kyler's ability to adapt to the next level and figured that he would struggle quite a bit unless he was able to play on the level of guys like Russell Wilson. On a team with a lack of talent top to bottom, outside of some decent defensive pieces, it all seemed to be a recipe for an underwhelming year for the Cliff Bar. Although they were able to string together 3 straight wins following a rough start, it was some of the only ones that they would get all year as they went 5-10-1. Not much of a surprise, but more of a testing period to see how well the young giant and Kyler Murray would perform on the next level. His over 3,700 yards and 20 touchdowns were pretty impressive, but a lackluster 12 picks kept him and the team from doing all that well. Since he was a rookie, it was inevitable that there would be some hiccups, and although he struggled a bit, he showed a lot of potential on a very rough Cardinals unit. What kept him and the team from being one of the worst teams in football was Kyler's ability to run time and time again, as he had over 500 yards and 4 touchdowns, which made him a threat all over the field. Although the first year under Cliff and Kyler wasn't the greatest, it's what you'd expect from a first-year coach, and it at least showed promise. Going into 2020, the Cardinals decided to change things up. In what may have been one of the most lopsided trades in NFL history, the Cardinals got one of the best wideouts in the league and only had to give up an underwhelming David Johnson. Although he was once good, David was not the same, and so the fact that the Texans were open to trade Hopkins for him seems a bit fishy. Nonetheless, the Cardinals got a Hopkins and some other additions to help on defense going into Cliff's second year, and had them looking a decent bit better than before. After starting off really hot, with a 5-2 record through their first 7 games, it seemed like the Cardinals were destined to make it back to the postseason for the first time since BA left. Although they were coming off a big win against Seattle, their 3-6 record over the next 9 weeks was rough to watch unfold, and kept the Cardinals out of postseason contention for yet another year. Even though the team choked the second half of the season, they were at least able to win some more football games than the previous year. Not just that, but Kyler was able to pass for nearly 300 more yards and 6 more touchdowns, which all makes sense after the new addition of Hopkins. Not just that, but Kyler was able to take his ground game to the next level, with his over 800 yards and 11 touchdowns, proving that he could do pretty much anything. Although the year went off the rails after their strong start, it at least proved that Kyler could do his thing at quarterback and had potential to stick around in the desert. Hey, by the way, if you're enjoying the video, it'd be awesome if you guys could subscribe. But anyways, back to the vid. Once again, the Cardinals decided to add some new pieces to the squad going into 2021, but this time they decided to take it to another level. Not only did the team just get Rondale Moore through the draft, or AJ Green and James Conner through free agency, but they were able to reunite former teammates in JJ Watt and Hopkins in what was shaping up to be an exciting year in the desert. Heading into the season, the Cardinals were looking pretty good, but let's just say not many expected what would happen next.
Pressure's coming. Murray breaks away. Murray throws on the run, back of the end zone, caught Hopkins!
So far, the Cardinals are the best team at football at 7-0, and although they have struggled against teams like Minnesota and Jacksonville, they have won time and time again, and are currently the only undefeated team in football. Who would have thought that the Cardinals would be doing so well this year outside of the team themselves? I don't even know. But no matter the case, they're doing their thing, and Kyler is looking like one of the best players in football. As of right now, Kyler and Josh Allen are at the top of the MVP betting odds, and the little giant is playing some of his best football to date. Through 7 games, he has over 2,000 yards and 17 touchdowns as he's focused much more on the passing game. As Kyler has talked about throughout the offseason, he doesn't want to rely on his legs as much, and instead sees them as a luxury. Compared to his over 800 yards rushing the previous season, Kyler is on pace to rush for just over 300 yards this year, and the new focus has seemed to work. Instead of him rushing the ball, the 1-2 punch of James Conner and Chase Edmonds has provided over 130 yards rushing per game to add to an already dangerous offensive attack. What's really showing is that the success has not only come against underwhelming units like Jacksonville and Houston, but has carried them over talented squads like Cleveland and LA. A big reason as to why they are so successful is the fact that they're just focused on game by game. And although they went up against a struggling Texans unit, they were focused on playing their best football once again. It could have been easy to look ahead to the looming Thursday night matchup against Green Bay, but as Kyler would say, they view each game as their own, and so they'll give each one their best shot. It seems like the Cardinals have just taken that next step this season, and although I'm not expecting everything to go swimmingly, I think the Cardinals have what it takes to contend. From top to bottom, the team's just killing it, with second-round pick Rondale Moore, AJ Green, Christian Kirk, and the ridiculously talented DeAndre Hopkins rounding out one of the best receiving corps in football. Not only just that, but the new addition in Zach Ertz has helped spread the field and made the offense that much more dangerous. What do you guys think of all this? Are the Cardinals good, or are they just getting lucky? Comment down below your thoughts. Anyways, Kyler Murray seems to be leading the Cardinals to the promised land for the first time in a while, and I for one am excited to see what's next.
Here's Kyler Murray. He's on!
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed, it would be awesome if you guys could subscribe, like, and comment down below what stuff you want next. But anyways, see you all soon, and peace out.